You might be sitting there and saying, I don't have money to do a survival retreat. Yes, you do. If you have a house, you can make it a survival retreat. If you have nothing, guess what? At least you can pick a tree out in the woods and you can call that your survival retreat, because that's where people can meet up. We need to make our plans now, what we're going to do, because if we had no cell phones, if we had no communication, and you had a bunch of friends that are thinking, you know what, we might need to band together in a serious situation. If you haven't made those plans now and they live 10, 15 miles apart and there's no cell phones, you guys will not get together. There's no way. One of you might decide to walk to your buddy's house, and guess what? Your buddy decided to walk to your house and you took two different paths. Never met each other. So you need to work these things out now, even if it's just, hey, that tree, if times get tough, I can't get you, meet me at the tree. Why do we need a group? Everyone knows why we need a group. First of all, we can't do everything. I mean, it's physically impossible to prepare properly for any disaster without help. Secondly, we don't know everything. I am smart enough to team up with Scott because I know I'm very weak in certain subjects. So guess what? I team up with him. Half my problem is solved because guess what? I can look at him and say, hey, how do we do this? But it's also good because I can look at him and say, how do we do it? And then he teaches me how to do it. So we cross-train, and then I can take that knowledge that he just gave me and share it with someone else. We need the support of others. This is a big thing. We need the support today. If you have any problems in your life, you'd like to have that family member there to give you a hug, to support you. It will be probably more important in a survival situation because of our stress levels will be very high. I think probably the closest I was to any group of guys in the military is when you're in a bad situation. You get to lean on them, they get to lean on you. You definitely get closer in a bad situation. The biggest advantage today, if you could do something, is get your family members involved. If you can get your parents or your sisters, your brothers, anybody that you love, you need to get them involved now. The reason is, this is going to take a lot of stress out of your life. Because you will want to help them in a survival situation, but you probably won't have the resources to take care of your extended family. So if you can get them on board, then you can concentrate on yourself. The best person to prep for any emergency is you. If you can prep for yourself because you know what you like, you know what you don't like, you know your situation, you know what you have already. So getting your family members on board and on your survival team is a big plus for you. What skill sets do we need? I've listed a few up here. There's a lot of more skill sets. Some people out there probably are a farmer and a mechanic. But these are some skill sets you need to find to be successful. Yes, you probably can do without some of these and still be successful. You can improvise. But if you got some experts on your team, it's going to make your life easier. First person, I think, and this is in no particular order, I just listed these down. You need a medical personnel, EMT, a nurse, a doctor, pharmacist, a dentist. These are medical people. Because when we have an emergency, we like to have a good quality person to look after our injury. If all you have is an EMT, that's all you have. But get whatever you can and always be looking to recruit someone else to your team that you have an opening for. Next is a gardener. Don't take this one lightly because you all want to eat after you use up all your food. So pick a quality person that's been doing it. Go ahead and if they're a gardener, make sure they're a gardener. See what they do. People that store seeds are not gardeners, okay? So practice, practice, practice. Farmer. What we're looking for is not the guy that raises 1,000 head of cattle. We're looking for that small stock farmer that has multiple animals. He has chickens, goats, rabbits, turkeys, pigs. He has a whole mess of everything. If all you can find is that cattle farmer, that guy will probably work because guess what? He's going to say, you know what? I know how to do cattle. I better start learning how to do chickens. And it'll be a lot less learning curve for him to go from one animal to the other animal. Next is a mechanic. Your car's going to break down in a survival situation. Your generator's going to go kaplunk. You're going to need someone that can fix it. Same with a handyman and a carpenter. You need someone to repair. You might have some damage to your house because of a storm. And if you got that carpenter, they can jump up on that roof, throw the plywood up, and secure your property from further damage. It'll be a big plus. Or he might be able to make that house livable, where you might look at it and say, man, that thing, we can't live in there. Security, and that's probably my favorite subject on here because that's what I'm good at. There's a lot of police officers that if that's what you can find, that's good. First of all, police officer is good for a few reasons. He does have some gun training. He also has been in probably a lot of sticky situations, so he knows what to expect in this situation. Probably the best person to get is someone in the combat arms. 11 Bravo, anybody in the Rangers, any of the Special Force guys, someone that has gone into a foreign country and set up a defense. Because what he does in a foreign country could be what we do in this country to set up a good security perimeter for our family. So try to find someone with that background. Machinists and welders, these people will probably be important after the initial collapse or the initial chaos or the emergency. They're going to be the guys that help you rebuild. Or these are the guys that are going to help you build the spare part for your generator. So they're very important to have. I think the most important person to look for your survival group, and this is the top on the list, is a hardworking team player. Even if this guy has no skills, but he is willing, he's a hard worker, that's what you're looking for. So if you find that guy and he has really none of these skills, don't write him off. He's the guy you're looking for. He can learn skills, but if he has the right attitude, he's the guy you want. You play the game with the team you have, not the team you want. Remember that. Cross-training. You might have a group of people that you've assembled, friends, family members. You need to cross-train. Because we might be relying on Scott to keep the wood gasifier running. And guess what? Something happens to Scott. Or Scott's laid up in the bed, he can't get out of the bed to go tend to the gasifier, which is a simple problem. So you need to cross-train. I should know how to run the gasifier, and Scott should be able to run a patrol. So it's very important. Don't think, well, I'm going to keep all this knowledge to myself because that way the team needs me. No. Share what you have with everyone because your whole family and your group survival depends on it. Everyone in your group is part of your security plan. Everyone in your group is part of your security plan. I talk to guys that say, well, my wife's not part of that plan. My daughter, she's 16, she's not part of our security plan. Yes, she is. Those people are what you want on the team, because let's picture this. All you guys are out there being hoo-hoo, and you're doing your thing. Guess what? Somebody sneaks into your house. Your most important possession is back in your house, unprotected, because you said, I'll take care of it. She doesn't need to learn that. I think women need to learn it more than men, because they're physically not as big as some men. So in any confrontation, a firearm equals up the fight. If I hung a picture up of a target that my wife shot, and I hung a picture here of a target that a special force guy shot at, you guys could tell the difference. Why? Because that gun, the equalizer, makes man and women the same. Yes, we don't want to put our ladies and our wives and our daughters in a position that we don't want to. But it's better to have them trained so if they have to get in that position, they're just as trained as a man. Requirements for membership. You might say, well, we need to form a group. What are the requirements for membership? The first one is hard worker. If someone is lazy, run from them. If they're lazy now, and they had a good night's sleep, their belly's full, they've had their coffee, and they're lazy right now, you don't want them on your team. You know, you can talk to them and say, hey man, you need to step it up here. You know, if they come over for a barbecue and they're the ones that just sit there in the chair, just relaxing, everybody else is running around cooking and preparing, it's